Speaking of medium of exchange, let's check this post out. Let's check this post out here. So this is from Nostr. This is our second Nostr news from today. We got more Nostr than Twitter on today's show, which is good. We're moving in the right direction here. So the post says Stripe. Stripe, which is a payment processing company, generated 1.4 trillion in revenue in 2024, which means it took in 42 billion in transaction fees. Had merchants and consumers used the Lightning Network instead, those fees would have been closer to 6.7 billion, resulting in businesses and consumers saving over $35 billion for 2024. Can you imagine? Just think about how big of a deal that is. Businesses and consumers would have saved $35 billion using Lightning instead of Stripe. Think about what businesses and people could have done with that $35 billion. And the thing is like this stuff is already here. It's not like this needs to be invented and it's just something where it's a concept right now. Like this stuff already exists. And it's gonna, when you see things like this, it's just so obvious to me that the world's eventually going to figure this out because humans are smart. I know we're kind of idiots some days. But like for the most part, humans are smart. Humans are efficient. Humans always choose the most efficient path, always, just like water. And, eventually as people figure this out, all of this is going to flow into Bitcoin, everything. That'll be transactions, that'll be store of value, that'll be medium of exchange, that'll be the real estate market. As more and more people figure out what's going on here, it's all going to flow to Bitcoin. So if you got some sats, you're doing pretty good. Gregory says banks won't use Lightning because it's privacy for any non-direct path transactions. Yeah, that's true. I'm with you there. Banks won't use Lightning. I agree with that. I think for the most part, banks will definitely be using the layer 1 though. Definitely be using layer 1. Buck52 says, trying to get my barber to accept Bitcoin. Explained how the credit card fees would disappear. Here's, I'm sure that there's people who watch this show who have heard this story before, but I'll just give you a quick story on when I wouldn't say orange pilled, but like had this conversation with my barber or hairdresser. And the thing that I explained to her, and this, as we talk about the medium of exchange here, plus store of value, this is kind of like a perfect example of that, honestly. Because kind of what I told her was that when you think about cash, if you're a barber, if you're a hairdresser, if you're a server, any of these like service industry, the jobs that are service based, everybody in those industries love cash. Why? Why do they love cash? Do they like the looks of it? Do they like our nice green bill with a dead politician on it? Do they like the feel of it? No. The thing they like about that cash transaction is that I can give it to the barber without anybody else knowing that I gave it to the barber. The barber now owns that $20 bill without anybody knowing. Look who it is. Without anybody knowing that he or she, not even going to say hi, has that $20 bill, right? So if you think about Bitcoin the exact same way, and this is what I explained to her, like I have Bitcoin in my Lightning wallet right now. You could download a Lightning wallet without any ID, without any email address or phone number. You can download a Bitcoin Lightning wallet right now. And I could send you $20, $25, $30 worth of Bitcoin to that wallet, and nobody will know that happened. That's a pretty big idea. And the fact that you don't have to carry cash around, the fact that you don't have to store it in your house or under a mattress or anything like that, like you can actually protect your wealth and store it. And you don't have to worry about any governments creating more of it and essentially devaluing yours. Bitcoin is exactly like cash, except in my opinion, 10 or 100 times better. Not of the dollar, cash. And again, just to go one step further here a little bit. As an accountant, I used to see all these different businesses, their financial statements. And at the top line of every balance sheet, it said cash. And cash is different than dollars. Cash that you can hold in your hand is much different than dollars in a bank, because that cash that you hold in your hand, that belongs to you. You don't need anybody's permission to spend that cash. Whereas dollars in the bank, that's essentially an IOU from the bank. You need the bank's permission to take that out of the bank to spend it on something. And if the bank doesn't like what you're doing, or the bank doesn't allow you to take this amount out at a certain time, you don't actually own that cash. So there's a big difference between cash and money in a bank. And cash is preferred. And if you think about Bitcoin like cash, except 10 times better, as more and more people eventually figure that out, again, all flows into Bitcoin because it just makes so much sense. I don't know what else to tell you. Cash is hush money. I've taken a lot of cash. In fact, over 1,000 this week alone. Yeah, everyone loves cash. Why? Because they can do whatever they want with it. They can hold it. They can burn it. They can do whatever they want with it. They don't need anybody's permission. Plus, the government doesn't know that they have it. And Bitcoin on Lightning, Bitcoin on Liquid, Bitcoin on eCash does the exact same thing, serves the exact same purpose. Except the nice thing about that is just this is what I mean. Like this, when you actually think things through like this, when you kind of understand that premise there, but then you say, okay, well, another reason why Bitcoin is better than cash is because I could give that $20 bill to somebody, but they have to be in the same room as me. I have to be in the same location as them. With Bitcoin, you can send that to anybody in the world with an internet connection. That's why we Bitcoin. That is why we Bitcoin.